January the 24th, 2025. Guys, we're finally starting to get a break in this freeze we've had for the last several days. It is now, the real feel outside is 35 and the temperature is 39. Guys, we had 6 degrees a couple of days ago when we've seen 13, 14, 9, and then 6, and all that was much lower than predicted. But I've got an idea of what's going on, and after this video, I'm going to have to take my time and get the pieces of the puzzle put together, but I think I've got it figured out, both on the hurricane changes, the Earth's movement, or the tilt of the Earth moving the convergence zone up where the hurricanes come off there, intertropical convergence zone, and this cold weather. Putting that together, been having to kind of take a little easy the last few days, but I wanted to put this out because I think it was one of the greatest evil things that have ever happened to the planet. I'm not talking about the U.S., and I'm not talking about any other time other than what Anthony Fauci did. He was told not to do the biolabs. He snuck the money overseas, got that done, sent it to China, sent it to Ukraine, and that had a lot to do with Putin going in. A lot of people don't realize that. It was these hundreds, possibly, biolabs, and it was the deep state playground, 51st state. Anyway, Fauci is worse than any Nazi concentration camp guard there is. He kind of reminds me of one, if you look at him. Anyway, his presidential pardon versus estate crimes. That's what this article is about. It was guest contributor Paul Gardner, who's a Vietnam veteran. And I'd mentioned this, guys, we were doing a live stream or something maybe a week ago, and in the comments we were talking about this and him being pardoned by Biden. And I said, I don't think a federal pardon gets you out of state trouble. If you committed crimes in different states, that has nothing to do with a federal pardon. It's a federal crime. But now, a group in Florida and other people, well, really not now, they've been doing it since this started almost. Once they realized what kind of bull crap this was and how many people were dying, they started doing investigations. Now, with a new sheriff in town and new people in town, I think there's going to be a lot of problems, not just with Fauci, but he needs to go first. He needs to be the prime example. He needs to be put before a military tribunal and shot between the eyes. I'm sorry. That's how I feel. I got a lot of people that have died from taking the vaccine, not the virus. And if I get kicked off for doing this video, so be it. I don't think I will. I think both Facebook, YouTube, and that whole bunch, Meta, they've realized their days are numbered for censorship of the truth. We'll see. I'll find out. Anyway, we couldn't talk about this a month or two ago without probably going down. Anyway, these lawyers have gotten together few years back and started getting every bit of information, stacking it up, looking at it, turning it over to states' DAs already. And they're getting ready to file major charges on Fauci. Now, I think more than likely he lost his security detail because Brennan's complaining about losing his security detail, his clearance passes to the Pentagon and all of that. And so are some other ones. Brennan is complaining, the one with the mustache, I can't remember his name. I try to forget he's even alive. He's such an evil person. Anyway, they're really complaining about, John Bolton, that's his name. He got woke up at 12:01. If you guys saw that. In the middle of the night, that his Secret Service detail was leaving. Now that's classic Trump move right there. He said, whoa, I got to, half the world wants to kill me later. Anyway, let's read this article. And I want every one of you, if you've lost a friend, a family member, someone you know, and a lot of people were vaccinated voluntarily, but some got vaccinated, and I know for a fact, I got proof, were vaccinated while they were in surgery for something else. I even have physical evidence of it. That may get turned in before this is all over with, but the hospitals went with Fauci, and the doctors went with them. And I've told some doctors that I've had to deal with to their face, that they're murderers and they're killers, and they have, just like Biden did, the U.S. people have lost faith in the medical system. I'm trying my best right now to get off all the medicines I can, except my blood pressure medicine, and avoid them. There's one good doctor I have. The rest are in it for the money, and they don't care what they stuff down your throat as long as they get the extra bucks from the drug companies. Now, let's read this. It looks like these guys may be setting up the largest scale lawsuit I've ever seen, class action. And it could be everyone in the United States if you want to push it, because the people that did take it, they thought they were being told the truth. I warned several folks that are no longer with us to please don't do it, begged them. They did it anyway. Most of them are gone. They're saying it was cancer, that happened very quickly, things like that. So I'm pretty upset about it myself. And I think it's time for everyone to stand up against this devil and this entire process from the medical people that took the money for this. Every one of them that injected these shots need to go to jail. And I know that our local hospital here, they had no flu cases that first year. And instead of getting, like a lot of people are on, they have Medicare, Medicaid, and all like that. When they turn that in with a flu case, they would get 30,000. But if they wrote on there it was COVID, they got 100,000. Over the past 3 years, the Virus Loss Group, called VLG, headquartered in West Palm Beach, Florida, has devoted much time and resources, pro bono, which is free, to researching and compiling extensive legal briefs submitted to several state attorney generals requesting an investigation of Dr. Anthony Fauci, who's not a doctor, criminal Fauci, and other health care officials for alleged violation of state criminal codes. And they're wondering why Trump is coming down on the CDC and who. That's somebody else that needs to get involved in this lawsuits. But guys, again, the people that did it were evil. Some did it for money. They're about to pay back. Now, even though these lawyers did this pro bono, if it gets into a major class action lawsuit, they know they'll get the money back. To date, requests for criminal investigations have been submitted to the Attorney Generals of Florida, Louisiana, Texas, Oklahoma, and Missouri. The Texas legal brief and supporting documents can be viewed at diamondmindfoundation.org/justice. Now, I'm going to link you to those because it's got information. If you want to get involved, to do it. Think about what has happened. People become just like war. There was a lot more coverage of the Ukraine and Russian war when it started, a lot more coverage of the Israeli situation and Hamas when it started. But the world becomes numb to those things, and really that's what mainstream media really likes, for you to get burnt out on something, a major topic like that, where a lot of people are getting killed. And so COVID is the same way. You know, it's been, 5 years going on or something like that, and people kind of, by or past it. I don't see hardly anybody with mask on or anything like that. And it was all a lie. Fauci admitted it. The 6 feet apart, all of that was just made up. Just made up. And he admits in the documents. Anyway, it says, regarding Anthony's recent presidential pardon, the Office of the Pardon Attorney, U.S. Department of Justice, states that the president's authority to grant clemency is limited to federal offenses and offenses prosecuted by the U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia in the name of the United States in the D.C. Superior Courts. D.C. needs to be taken out of the picture completely, just absorbed by another state or turn it into a state. No special privileges, no District of Columbia anymore. Get rid of that. Just like you changed Trump, you changed it to the Gulf of America. We can do something with this too, because it's wicked and evil. It was put there to be evil and wicked by the Masons a long, long time ago. Let me back up just a minute. This presidential pardon, the Office of the Pardon Attorney, U.S. Department of Justice, states that the president's authority to grant clemency is limited to federal offenses and offenses prosecuted by the U.S. Attorney. An offense that violates a state law is not an offense against the U.S., so he's been pardoned against federal crimes. Now the states are coming in. And guys, the way we get rid of this evil, we fought and we risk everything we had practically to try to change what we were seeing going down in this nation in the last 4 years. So you need to get involved with this information I'm about to give you. I'm thinking about doing it too. It ain't about the money. I don't know if there will be any money involved. As long as this guy goes to jail, I don't care about that. But I do believe in fighting against evil, especially when it's this evil, and he's a mass murderer in the millions, guys. Some people say thousands, hundreds of thousands. No, we're talking about millions of people worldwide. He was a part of all of that. It says, therefore, Fauci's preemptive federal pardon does not shield him from prosecutors for violation of state criminal laws, and the efforts of VLG described herein become paramount if Fauci and other health care officials are ever to be held accountable for alleged heinous crimes committed against literally hundreds of thousands of American citizens. Again, it's much more than that. You had that many people die. The requested investigations focused on alleged criminal actions taken against patients being treated in hospitals for the COVID-19 virus. VLG's efforts are in response to hundreds of letters received from aggrieved families who lost loved ones in hospitals. All earnestly demand their investigations take place. Remember, people couldn't get into nursing homes to see their husband or wife, and they died there. Among other things, these letters attest that the great majority of loved ones who died in hospitals received one or more doses of the drug Remdesivir, which was known to have a mortality rate in excess of 50% when they put it out. I'm very upset. I know someone is having a lot of trouble right now. The testimony of Dr. David Martin before members of the Oklahoma State Legislature concerning the toxicity of Remdesivir can be viewed here. And I'm going to link this this page because it has multiple links on it. Here's one, and this is the truth about Remdesivir's, the lethality rate. The promoted and mandated use of Remdesivir for COVID patients by Fauci and other healthcare officials is perhaps the most egregious, heinous crime that allegedly occurred. They're saying much more can be said about the ongoing efforts of VLG to secure justice for the thousands of victims of alleged hospital homicides, but the necessity of thorough criminal investigations by state and county officials cannot be overstated. That's because when you're dealing with a slippery, slimy serpent, they'll find ways to sneak out of it. So they're trying to nail everything they can down. I think they got more than enough proof. They just want the whole world involved. They want to wake up the world. They want to see this man persecuted, prosecuted, and I hope executed for the murders he committed. People are still dying to this day from taking this. And it wasn't just Remdesivir. There's a couple other things. Citizens need to contact their respective state attorney general and county district attorney and demand that these investigations occur. It is time for truth and justice in this matter, and the Virus Law Group is at the forefront of the effort. They're ending this, and I'm going to show you a couple of links, but Paul S. Gardner is a retired Army officer, Vietnam veteran, and an avid lover of America. He is a graduate of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. By the way, Trump's down there now. He's checking out the folks that are in trouble. He's leaving there this afternoon and flying to California. Again, University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, University of Alabama, and the U.S. Army War College. Pretty good colleges, Mr. Gardner, and thank you for this article. Now, this is Diamond Mine Foundation. You can see that at the top left. It's diamondminefoundation.org/justice. This is got to do with Texas. Don't mess with Texas, America strong. It says, let justice roll down like a river and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream. Amos 5:24. That's what's about to happen, especially if everyone gets involved. This is as important as voting because you are voting against evil and murderers. And by doing this, you will eliminate it possibly from your kids and grandkids having to go through the same ordeal. It says, greetings, this page contains links to important documents sent to district attorneys in 22 counties. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, and the Office of Governor Greg Abbott. These documents request a criminal investigation of Dr. Anthony Fauci and several other officials for their policies and actions during the recent COVID-19 pandemic. Now, I wonder if Fauci still has his security detail. I haven't heard about that, but he had like 10 black Tahoes. He looked like a presidential thing if he just went out to eat. He was so hated. It says these documents, again, request this investigation on Fauci and the other officials. The legal brief developed and sent to the above officials was on behalf of the aggrieved families of 46 Texan victims who perished in Texas hospitals and other facilities during the pandemic. It was a mass murder. The brief identifies alleged crimes per Texas Penal Code and presents substantial evidence developed by attorneys working pro bono. Now, here's the most important part. This is the list of the documents, and you can get these. You can make a phone call, or you can probably download them here, but it's law.group, Florida, 561-370-7383. And so if you need further information, you should contact them there. It says new releases announcing the request for information. Texas AG brief. It's public. Exhibit A, Texans who perished. Exhibit B, letters from next of kin families requesting an investigation. How to hold Anthony Fauci accountable. Sample letters to Attorney General Ken Paxton. All of this is important. Let's look at number 5 again, how to hold the demon accountable. That will take you to a PDF by Mr. Paul Gardner. We just talked about him. This came out May 25th, 2024. It says another criminal referral to the U.S. Department of Justice soon may be made by members of the U.S. Congress to investigate Dr. Anthony Fauci for lying under oath to Congress. Now, I'm not sure if that went through. Again, it was initialized at May 25th last year, but they may have been wise enough to know that under that current DOJ, they weren't going to get anywhere. But there's a new sheriff in town. Again, another criminal referral soon may be made by members of the U.S. Congress to investigate Dr. Fauci for lying under oath to Congress, which is a felony crime. Representative Jim Comer, chairman of the House Committee of Oversight and Accountability, soon may follow Senator Rand Paul in requesting the DOJ to criminally investigate Fauci for lying under oath to Congress. But lying to Congress does not even begin to compare with nor address the horrendous amount of suffering and death caused by the toxic health care policies and hospital protocols developed and promulgated by Anthony Fauci and many of the other officials listed herein. In this regard, these officials bear superior responsibility for the health care policies and toxic protocols that killed tens of hundreds of thousands of Americans during the recent COVID-19 pandemic. Guys, I'm going to link you here. You can read it. It's just over 3 pages long. But get behind it. Look at the links. Make the phone calls or click on and sign in online or whatever that particular one is asking you to do. I'm asking you to get involved. If you don't stand up now, they're going to repeat it for our future generations. So don't let that happen, guys. It's a heads up. Be safe. I'm working on that weather changing video. Again, heads up, be safe.